Hello, my name is Rachel and I'm here today to talk about my September TBR. So this is going to be a long video, and that is because my September TBR is also my currently reading pile. So I did definitely do a video like this last year, and I don't know if I did one the year before, but it is something that I have to do quite often. Basically, towards the end of the year I will take about a month where instead of adding any books to my TBR, I just focus on the books I'm currently reading. And that's because I'm someone who reads upwards of 5 books at the same time. I will put down a book for 6 months and then pick it back up, and that book could be like a 4-star read. There's nothing wrong with it, I don't dislike it, it's kind of the way that I consume books. Sorry if I keep messing with my face. I've just had a bath, so my hair's still kind of wet, and I've just moisturised, so my face feels all there, and so that's why I keep touching my face. It just feels like I want to touch it, but I'm not going to touch it, so I'm touching it now. So I'm going to go through all the books I'm currently reading right now. I have 3 categories to go through, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books to show you. I've cut that down. I haven't put any of my short story collections on here because there's always currently reading my short story collections. I never ever finish those, and I don't even think I put another book on here just because I don't want to read it at the minute. And I've not put any of my writing books that I'm halfway through as well, because I've been reading on editing this month quite a lot, and I'm halfway through the Anatomy of Story as well. Point is, probably actually currently reading about 20 books, but I've got 11 here that I'm prioritising for the month. That's the goal, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with non-fiction, just because there's 2 books that I have actually already been reading this month. So I may as well start with those. So the first one is Body Positive Power by Megan Jane Crabb. How to Stop Dieting, Make Peace with Your Body and Live. So this is by Body Positive Panda. So she's really popular on Instagram, and she's a really big part of the body positivity movement. And this is just talking about how negative diet culture and our sort of obsession with certain body types is, which number 1 is great for my ridiculously low self-esteem, and number 2 is just more digestible. So I really enjoy feminism, and one of the books that I really enjoy, and I'm only halfway through, so it's another one I'm currently reading, is The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. It's a very good book, but by God, it's a slog. It's hard to get through. It's very, study heavy and things like that, which is fantastic, and it's good to know, and it's good to have a piece of research in a book that goes into that, but also, like I said, of a difficult read, whereas this is more like a chatty read. It's easy to get through, and yeah, I've picked this back up. I think I've read about 100 pages of it so far in September. I'm on page 233, so I'm about 40 pages off the end of this. Definitely going to be finishing it, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I've picked it back up because I've not picked it up for like a year. I think it's definitely been a while, but I'm really glad that I'm getting back to it because it is a really good book. Then we have The Bookshop Book by Jen Campbell. So this is just another victim of my, if it's not fiction and it's not like something that pulls me in with a plot or a character or something, I will put it down. It's how my life works, it's how I go. And even though I'm loving this book, it's the reason that it's taken me so long to get through it. It's the reason why it's taken me so long to get through the next one and that one as well. If I've not got something like a mystery or a character that I'm invested in, I will put things down. That's my biggest issue with non-fiction, really. But I am 91 pages into this. I think I've read about 40 pages of this so far this month, and I've been really enjoying getting back into it. I was actually in a little bit of a reading slump. I wouldn't really say I was a reading slump. I mean, I just did. So maybe I would. Basically, I went on holiday and I read a hell of a lot of books on my holiday. Probably like 10 books in 2 weeks, which is quite a lot for me. And then when I got home, I just didn't want to read, and I didn't read for the last 2 weeks of August. And then maybe the first 2 or 3 days of September as well, which might sound fine, like it's only 2 and a bit weeks, but that's not really normal for me. Reading normally has quite a big part of my daily routine, so it was a little bit weird, but I think it was because I read Lolita so fast. I read Lolita in the space of like 3 days, and that is a big book. It's a classic. It's not exactly an easy read, but I was just so invested in it, and I really needed to read it. And so I think it was one of those where it's just like, after it I was just like, okay, need a break. However, the first book that I ended up picking up after that was this one, because I knew that it was a little bit lighter and a little bit more like spacey. It wasn't going to be intense, and it was just a really sweet, like peaceful kind of book to get you back into it. So really enjoying this. But yeah, we've been reading that. What else? Right, now this This is a book that I don't think I can say I'm currently reading, because technically, and I really do mean technically, it's been about 2 years since I picked this book up. However, the reason for that is that it's big, it's a hardback, and I didn't want to take it to Switzerland with me. And I remember when I was moving to Switzerland, I was trying to read it ferociously. I was really trying to get through it, and I didn't manage to get through it because I was doing that with about 10 books, obviously. And I didn't get to take it, and so I've just not picked it up since. And it's been 2 years. Can you say that you're currently reading a book you've been reading for 2 years? Probably not, but what I'm going to do now is tell you that I am currently reading it. And it is Another Day in the Death of America by Gary Young. 24 hours, 8 states, 10 young lives lost to gun violence. I remember that this book was phenomenal. I mean, I was angry and infuriated by it because guns are something that really terrify me and that I don't agree with in any way, shape or form. I think that's just an inherent view to have if you're British, just because we don't grow up with guns. They're a weird thing to think that people just have in the society, but Americans do, so it's a bit of an odd one if you're British. I remember reading this and being really annoyed at the amount of connections between the Bowling for Coal Mine documentary that came out like more than 10 years ago and this book. Like, it's just the same shit going on even though it's been 10 years. Like, nothing's been dealt with, nothing's been changed. So I am really happy to be getting back to this. I actually really do want to finish this month. And there are 2 bookmarks in this. That's because my mum started reading it at some point. But the bookmark that's mine is up to page 169. So I have just over 100 pages of this one left. They're all the non-fiction books that I'm currently reading. We'll do literary fiction, because my literary fiction are actually books that I'm super excited for and that I'm annoyed that I stopped reading. Actually, no, the first one's not. The first one is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is one of the books that I was reading on holiday. I got 143 pages into this one. I am quite enjoying it. It's just not really like one that's like pulling me in and making me like, I need to know what happens. It's kind of just like, oh, I'll read this. That's kind of my feeling. Not necessarily that's a bad thing, but just that it's not getting me there, it's not pulling me there. As of yet, anyway. I will say on a side note, I have realised, and this keeps happening where I don't realise that it's a thing that's happening until it's too late. This has a child narrator, and it's been a child narrator for the full 140 pages that I've read so far, and I don't like child narrators. They are something that I don't enjoy. Enjoy them in children's fiction, to be fair, but in adult fiction, not my bag. Don't enjoy it. And I didn't realise until like a week ago, and then I was like, oh, that really could be why. Currently reading this one, want to pick it back up, but obviously, you know, the child narrator thing is an issue. But I have heard that he gets older and it's more about what's happening when he's older, so I'm hoping that he gets older at least by page 300. If he gets older by page 300, I can do this. If it's like halfway through the book, I'm going to be like, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I can do this. So we'll see. We'll see. Very excited to try and carry on with it because it does have a lot of art in here and I do love art, so we'll see how it goes. So the next 2 books are books that I'm annoyed that I've not been reading, is what I meant. So the first one is a book that I kept banging on about, saying how much I was loving, but the problem was I was reading it in May for Mental Health-a-thon, and then in June, what was June? There was a Pride. It was Pride. So I only read gay books in June. This isn't a gay book. Then in July, it was Jane Austen July, and it was just Jane Austen. Oh no, Jane Austen July and the Reading Rush. So I read books for those. And then in August, I went on holiday, and then I didn't read for the last 2 weeks of August. So this book has been just pushed down to the bottom of my priority list for a few months, even though if you watched any of my videos where I talked about it, you will know I was absolutely adoring it. I think the writing style is amazing, and I just, like, I've thought about it a lot. It's a book I've really wanted to finish. So, you know, anticipation built. The book is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I'm just absolutely loving it, and I've just not picked it up. I'm 79 pages into it, and the book is only like 250 pages, so it's not even like it take that long to finish. Will say though, while I was reading Lolita, I kept finding myself thinking of this book, just because I think the way that Nabokov describes like young girls is really similar to how Jeffrey Eugenides describes young girls. However, I'd get creeped out by the way that the little girls were described in this one, and then I'd be like, oh, but this is from the perspective of teenage boys, so I kind of get why he's written it like that, because that's something a teenage boy would think. You don't have that excuse with Lolita. However, yeah, I did find that they were linking up in my head a little bit. It was quite interesting. I really want to pick this back up. This and the body positive power one are definitely absolute priorities, and then one other book over there is an absolute priority, and then the other books are like, I hope I pick this up, I hope I pick this up, I hope I pick this up. Whereas this one I'm like, no, I need to pick this up, I want to finish it, like I'm excited to pick it up. Actually, this should be a priority too, because I was absolutely adoring it. This was another one that I was reading while it was mental health-thon. June was gay, July was Austen, so I put it down even though I was really enjoying it. And it is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. So I didn't actually get that far into this. I got 55 pages into this and I was absolutely hooked. Loved the writing style, loved the premise, loved how the characters were being introduced. You were getting it really slowly, even though you were being told a lot. Like, you get a lot of like background and history and all that sort of stuff through this book, especially at the start, but still finding things out really, really slowly. And I don't know, it's just, I'm really enjoying it, and I don't know anything about the story. Well, I do, and I know the main thing about the story. However, I don't actually know. Like, I just know that like that's what it says on the back. I have never seen the film, I've never read the book before. Like, I've been just so excited for it and so wanting to read it. It's really reminding me of 19 Minutes by Jodie Court, which is a book that I adore. I don't know that I will necessarily finish it, but I definitely think I will be dipping back into it. Obviously it is Victober next month, so I want to try and read quite a few of these books, because again, I will stop everything I'm reading for Victober, so I need to just like get through the books. The next two books that I have are gay reads. However, on a side note, just going to quickly say, I am currently reading another gay book, but I'm listening to an audiobook. It is Just Juliet, because apparently I'm reading Just Juliet for the third time this year. That's just happening. It just keeps fucking happening, doesn't it? That's a thing that's going on, but I'm halfway through it already because it's a priority in my life, so that's fine. Reading that. Next one is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by why did I just not know how to say Emily? It's a problem. By Emily M. Danforth. I've been reading this for ages. I was reading this in June for Pride, and I just put it down. I wasn't enjoying it at the start. This is the problem. Sorry, I just remembered I had some tea. I picked it up, I think, for the reading rush, and I really got into it. I found it a lot more engaging. She got a bit older, again, China Rita. She got a little bit older in the text, like more like teenage and upwards, and I just found it a lot easier to read then. And so I was really, really, really enjoying it by the time that I put it down, because I just do that with every book. So this is the other book that's one of my absolute priorities. This, Virgin Suicides, Body Positive Power, like these are the ones that I'm like top, really want to finish. I'm 159 pages into this one, and this one's like 450 pages, which doesn't sound very long. That sounds about normal, but for some reason it feels huge. I think it's just like a big word count for the genre that it's in. I think that's what the thing is. You may have noticed at this point that I've not given any information on what any of these books are about. Most of them are quite popular reads anyway, so you probably know what they're about. I'm not going to start telling you what they're about now because I'm halfway through the video and I'm lazy. But the next one is Pulp by Robin Talley. Now, I'm not really technically currently reading this. I just also really, really want to read it. So I'm only actually 28 pages into this, but what it is I read the first chapter, I think just before I went on holiday, and I was like, ooh, this is really good. I want to read this. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get this out from the little audiobook overdrive system thing from my library. So I was waiting for that to come in, and then I went on holiday, blah, 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 same story every time. Why do you keep repeating yourself? Anyway, I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna say it's because I'm currently reading it, even though really I just read the first chapter to get a feel for it, and I'm not currently reading it, but I really, really want to read it. And it's a way of getting a new book into this pile, because I'm reading a lot of books I'm already reading. So yeah, we've got that one. Then we have classics, but we're going to do a slight bridge between the gays and the classics, which doesn't normally happen, does it? But you know, we're making strides on this channel. And it is Orlando by Virginia Woolf. So this features a character that like changes gender throughout it, and Virginia will throw it for her female lover because she was, you know, ahead of her time and a total babe. Again, another book that I can't really say I'm currently reading because I just like started reading it and got a feel for it, but also was adoring it. So I really do want to carry on with it, but I am only 22 pages in. The next book I'm going to mention is my priority in terms of classics, and then the one after that is also my second priority. So this is really my third priority of classic for the month. Then the one I was mentioning that was my priority classic that I wanted to finish was Emma by Jane Austen. I am pretty much bang on halfway through this book. I am on page 300. Oh no, I'm not. 574 pages. I'm more than halfway and I'm really enjoying this. I'm finding Emma a really like enigmatic main character, especially for Jane Austen. I feel like there is a misconception that Jane Austen's characters are really, really witty, really, really funny, that kind of vibe. But what people are describing is Lizzie Bennet. And actually, I wouldn't say that either of the sisters in Sense and Sensibility have those characteristics. I wouldn't say Fanny Price has those characteristics, and I wouldn't say that Catherine Morland has those characteristics either. She's the one who could slightly be up there as having them, but I wouldn't say so personally. However, Emma has those characteristics, and Pride and Prejudice and Emma are probably Jane Austen's two most popular works, so that is probably why everyone thinks of her main characters and her heroines as having that kind of a vibe, but they don't. And so this is actually quite a nice change from the other Jane Austens that I've been reading, especially after reading Mansfield Park. Emma is a very different heroine to Fanny Price in a lot of ways. And then the last book that I have that I'm currently reading is a book that I started this month. However, it is number one, a book that I already started this year and read about 50 pages of, I think. Number two, it is a book that I wanted to read by the end of this year. I need to crack on, get it read, so it's fine that I picked it up. And it is Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I feel like you have to say it in that voice of magnitude. I haven't read that much of this, to be fair, because I only started it literally like 2 days ago. However, I'm on chapter 4. So I read 2 chapters today. That's pretty... No, I haven't. I've read 3 chapters if I'm on chapter 4. So I've not read 3 chapters today, but it's fine. I'm doing well. I don't really mind big books like this. This one's 963 pages. I do find them daunting. However, I'm at the point now where the big books that I've read have actually been books that I have adored. So The Kind of Monte Cristo is my favourite book of all time, and that's over 1,000 pages. It by Stephen King isn't one of my favourites because I didn't like the ending. However, I really enjoyed the book in general and the way that it played out and all that sort of stuff, and I'm still really, really glad that I spent that 1,000 pages reading it, even though I wasn't keen on the ending. So like, that was a big book that I appreciate. I love the Game of Thrones books and they're all huge. What I'm trying to say is I don't hate books when they're really, really big. I do get a little bit daunted, but not in the way that it's going to stop me from reading it. That's all the books that I am hoping to read. I feel like it seems like a lot until you remember that I'm halfway through nearly all of them. So actually this pile's, if that's there, wait, no, I'm starting that one from scratch, but it's probably really about that much of a TBR if you just like got rid of that bit, because really I'm halfway through a load of them, so it doesn't really count, does it? Anyway, this is going to be a very, very, very long video, and I'm going to hate myself for editing today. It's going to be so much longer than any TBR's ever been, so I might just put it up as like currently reading and TBR just to try and like dissuade people from not clicking on it because it's a fucking ridiculous length TBR. Yes, that's all of them. Thank you very much for watching. If you have read any of those, comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. Comment down below if you think I'm a fucking idiot for stopping reading them in the middle. I probably am. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!